Hello, BookTube. As I've pointed out on this channel, the feature of the Steve Tiberius Donahue Book Club had a weird little interruption. I picked a book. I was all enthused about it. A lot of you were too. And then it just sort of fizzled. I didn't do it. I didn't make weekend videos. There was one video where I had an actual objective real world impediment to making that video. I could have made it on Monday, and I didn't do it. For some reason, I looked at it and just thought, no idea why. It was Bettany Hughes' book, The Hemlock Cup, and I liked the book. I liked it more the second time than I did the first time. But no, we didn't do it. And rather than agonize about that and try to figure out why, and also rather than try to force it, I thought that I would mothball the Steve Tiberius Donahue Book Club for the month of May, maybe for the whole summer, and instead just do read-alongs, which are a BookTube standard anyway, and not that much different from a book club. Read-alongs are standard. We've done a million of them on this channel. I want to spring a couple of read-alongs on you, even though we have almost no time to prepare. So ebooks of these things are readily available. So if you're amenable to ebooks and you want to join along, they're easily available. Feel free to ask me to find you a copy of the books. I'm happy to do that as well. I think I'll do 2. I don't know if I want to push my luck and do 3. I was thinking maybe just to get the whole interactive reading part, which I love about book clubs and also read-alongs. I love the interactive stuff where we're reading this together. That feels just wonderful. And I was thinking maybe a few read-alongs and also another read aloud. I'm currently reading aloud the Gospel according to St. Luke, but what if we read another trollop out loud? With all of my editorial interpolations at every single line. I thought about that. I'm still not sure about that. That doesn't need to be constricted to a month. The next Barsetshire novel seems like the natural choice for another trollop read-along. But aside from that, I want to do a couple of read-alongs in May, just to make sure that I don't lose this interactive mojo. I don't know what happened with the book club. So, another of the read-alongs that we're going to be doing for May is this. The Cruel Sea by Nicholas Montserrat. This is his 1951 novel. I believe this sold better than anything else that he wrote. It was certainly more of a critical darling than anything else that he wrote. It was a book club edition. Tons and tons of library sales, tons and tons of hardcover deals. It had a great paperback deal in the UK, another great paperback deal in the US. I believe this book made Montserrat wealthy, and I'm not sure that any of his other books did. I think a lot of his other books barely turned a profit. I think this made him wealthy, and it's a historical novel. It wasn't when it was written in 1951. It was hot off the presses, but now it's a historical novel about a corvette, about a small, sluggish vessel that, as one character in this book says, is basically a platform for dropping depth charges. In World War II. World War II has just started, and a new corvette, a new little vessel called the Compass Rose, has been hammered together and is going out to sea with a captain and a crew. And the goal here, the whole scene here, is that corvettes have been designed to safeguard convoys of vessels that are transporting goods and servicemen, and that are extremely vulnerable to German U-boats, submarines that exist only to hunt down shipping and sink it. Hence the depth charges. You put the depth charges in the back there, you drop them into the water, you set them to ignite, and when a depth charge ignites underwater, it's going to pound to pudding any submerged vessel that's nearby. It doesn't have to hit that vessel. Often a misconception, people don't know what they are. They're just, if they go off in the water, the concussion is going to paste your submarine if it's anywhere nearby. It's going to knock the crap out of it. And that's what the Compass Rose and a few other vessels are. That's what they are made to do: protect convoys. And what we get in this novel from 1951, now it's eons past. I imagine that corvettes are in museums now. They're in fleet museums. But what we get in this story is the story of one corvette, the Compass Rose, and the men that crew her. There's almost no civilian component to this novel. It's almost all just service. What it's like. Who these people are. The captain, the first lieutenant, the sub-lieutenants, and the crew. And their job, and the backdrop, what Nicholas Montserrat refers to as the only villain in the novel, which is the cruel sea itself. Not even the Germans. The men in this story know perfectly well how dicey this job is and how important it is, because a lot of them are Royal Navy and remember World War One, where convoy missions were also vital. They're even more vital now, and even more endangered since submarine technology has increased. This is thrilling. It's not just a thriller, but it is an amazingly good book. Just amazingly good. I believe I've read everything that Nicholas Montserrat has written. That's no easy feat. He was all over the map. He led a very adventurous life. Uh, and also an adventurous writing life as well. A very variegated writing life. I think I've read it all. I would be willing to bet, read more than anybody alive. And I think this is, by a comfortable margin, one of the best things he ever wrote in terms of prose. Now, because he doesn't have a critical biography, because he's never had any 800-page biography like he deserves, and what reading that would make, I don't actually know, and I'm not sure that the stories are even preserved, what his publication life was like. I don't know, in other words, if there's another person to thank for why this seems so polished and so eloquent. There might be another person to thank for it at his publishing house that took a stronger hand with this book, probably knowing in the very earliest drafts that this was a killer commercial product, that this deserves the care because this is going to get a lot more attention than a lot of this author's other books. I don't know if that's true. No idea. I'm going to go with it just being the author, of course. That's all I know. But I'm going to invite you to a read-along of this book, The Cruel Steve. We're going to do The Cruel Steve in May. Are you up for it? We'll read The Cruel Sea, and it has, the book has, I think, it's broken up into parts. The parts are rather generous. They can be rather long. Yeah, it has 7 parts. I thought that for this first week, so maybe I won't talk about this on the weekend. Maybe we'll talk about it midweek. But I thought we'd go all the way the first 2 parts. So part 1 is learning, part 2 is skirmishing. I thought we'd go through those and end up with part 3, and we can launch off on part 3 next weekend when we have a lot longer to do, because this is fairly quick notice for you for the weekend. So I want to talk about this either on the weekend or Monday and Tuesday. I'll wrap this up, this announcement. We are doing a Cruel Sea read-along for May. If you need me to look for a copy of the book, just email me. If you need an e-copy, just let me know. If you need that, or if you already have a copy, I'd be happy to look for it for you. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to doing I haven't done a read-along in a while on this channel, so I hope you join me. I think you'll enjoy it. I will wrap this up, and I will see you soon. Thank you, too.